good evening. We welcome this evening the Minister of Constitutional Affairs and National Integration, Mr. D.E.W. Gunasekara. Very warm welcome, sir, to the program. I'd like to begin by, for those of you in the audience who are not familiar with who you are, and in particular your history, your political history. Where did it all begin for you?
Good evening, Sanjana. Really, politics, even primary school days, we were attracted, of course, without any political connections.
Right.
It's attraction down to younger days.
But not everyone is attracted to party politics, certainly not today. There's a general apathy and a cynicism.
No, that's the mood in the country that prior to independence, the left movement was at its height.
Right.
And particularly campaigning for the total independence, as against the UNP and others. So then we were, at that time, of course, we were brought up in English media. And left leaders used to come. I studied in Mathur College. Media was English. So every other month, of course, there will be public meeting at Uyangatha. I should say that Uyangatha was our university.
Right.
Because the leaders, left leaders in them called Lynn Peter, Doctor, and all these top leaders used to come and address, unlike today.
And you were still in school when you rather attended these first...
we used to, go and listen. Not only myself, practically all, there's no bar as far as our principal or teachers are concerned, even from the home. We used to go and because there are a lot of things to learn, unlike today. It's not character assassination or that type of thing. About Mahavaliya, this and that, industrialization policies and imperialism and various other things. So you just shout whatever, that is how you were brought up.
So you had your left orientation when you went to these meetings, or were they further developed or
then there was one
strengthened?
incident, really. That was, I was on the 5th standard, the primary. And we had three premier schools in Mathur. That is St. Thomas's, St. Servatius and Raul College. And we had to suddenly, the 2 sessions, it was shifted to 2 sessions from 1 session. And there was a protest from the parents and the old boys. And they had a big meeting in Broadway Theatre, presided by Dr. Vikram Singh, S.A. Vikram Singh, the Communist Party leader at that time. Against the 2 sessions.
Right.
It put students in practical, they had to go home and have lunch and rush back and other problems. So the our principal was sort of completely, he was a UNP member, a good teacher, good principal. He summoned students early morning and he warned that the children not to go attend their meeting, right? But behind the meeting, a number of old students and the senior students were there. Then I was staying in a boarding school with a relative of mine, and their senior chaps all went to attend the meeting, and I was the only young primary school student who went there. And the head prefect, who subsequently became the principal of the school, he came and principal sent the head prefect to bring all the names. Then he came and patted on the back and he said, because you are a small fellow, I am not going to write your name. And you will be surprised, the following day, all the students were sacked.
Right.
I escaped because...
So lucky escape then.
I was in the primary. All the others who were sacked all in the...
And you then stood for first political office when you were just out of school, or?
No, that's just, then, that incident is... Then I was, but the students came to know that I had attended the meeting.
Right.
And my school teacher, he came on the following day, although I was not reported, he branded me as a communist. And with that, I knew nothing about communism.
But the label clearly stuck. The label clearly stuck. Yeah, but you stood for your first political office when?
No, that was much later. I was in the public service.
Right.
I was in the Inland Revenue Department. I was an assessor there. Only in 1977 I left, because when Peter Kenneman, our General Secretary of the Communist Party, he became the Minister of Housing and Construction. So he requested that I should come and become his private secretary. So then I got myself seconded. I was there, later gradually gravitated and I came to politics.
I want to pick up on something you said. Clearly, you've been politically aware and active from a very, very young age.
Yeah.
You might also know this, that if you speak to the youth of today, there is a general apathy and a cynicism when they look at party politics in particular, and just the political culture in general. Now, what has changed from when you were young to what it is
Completely.
today?
I mean, the whole, one thing is the number of factors, not one factor. Mainly political culture.
Yes. Well, but why has that happened? And should you take a responsibility for that?
Not individually I can't responsible. Maybe as a politician, we all some share of responsibility must be there. But generally, I mean, in Sri Lanka today, now take the universities. I mean, the universities. Then I used to go and address meetings. Subsequently, presented by party. With the DEWGunasekara University, go and give lectures and they fire questions and also. But today, dissent is not allowed at all. So that is part of the culture. Particularly after 1971, you know, the eruption, my own personal assessment, completely the emergence of the JVP, the terrorism and various other things. Then also, even the two major parties, they can't come together on a single national issue to solve national questions. You know, the bipartisan, that type of thing. Now, for instance, now in 1960s, when Mrs. Bandaranaike, I give you an example to clarify the question. Mrs. Bandaranaike had discussions with the Indian leaders on the citizenship issue. We had a large number, 110,000 of stateless persons, and they had a discussion with the Indian Prime Minister, Srinivasa Sastry, and at every turn he used to telephone and consult the leader of the opposition, Dudley Senanayake. And by the time he finished negotiation, she returned, and Dudley was in 100% correct, and they both got together, they brought amendments, and that was the national consensus. So, I mean, that shows the political culture. So, ever since then, you know, we have not been able to, you know, solve a single national question with the lack of particular national consensus.